Today in Cannabis News, the governor of Kentucky speaks on his focus for statewide medical cannabis legalization and interstate trade. The governor of Indiana speaks on his backing for setting up state cannabis regulations in anticipation of federal policy reform. And a new analysis indicates that Colorado cannabis dispensaries led to a rise in jobs throughout the state. It's Friday, December 10th, and this is your Trichomes Morning Buzz.
Broadcasting live from the Trichomes.com studios in Southern California. It's time for your Morning Buzz. We bring you late-breaking news that keeps you up to date with what's happening in the cannabis industry.
First up, while in an appearance with 44 News this week, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear discussed how statewide medical cannabis legalization is a primary focus for him in the upcoming legislative session. He further voiced support for wider policy reform to permit adults aged at least 21 years to produce and carry cannabis with no medicinal basis, as well as allowing producers to cultivate cannabis for the purpose of selling it out of state. Medical cannabis is the future. It's where things are going, Governor Beshear said. It's time we joined so many other states in doing the right thing. In his State of the Commonwealth speech at the beginning of the year, Beshear asserted that it is past time for medical cannabis legalization and that the crop can provide some relief for folks that would otherwise turn to more damaging substances. Kentucky and our topography, our farmers, could benefit significantly from legalization of medicinal marijuana and then allowing them to grow medicinal marijuana for other states, said Beshear. Though Beshear says he'll center his efforts in the next legislative session on medical cannabis reform, he further spoke on a bill sponsored by Representative Nima Kulkarni that would stop individuals from becoming imprisoned for cannabis possession, adding that he supports the proposal.
Next up, although Indiana's governor is not in favor of statewide recreational cannabis legalization, he said he supports policymakers passing legislation to provide the regulation framework for a commercial cannabis industry. He would, however, only consider implementing the reform when federal legality is lifted. In a year-end conversation with Indy Politics broadcast this week, Governor Eric Holcomb was questioned on cannabis laws. He was explicitly queried on if he would object to Indiana lawmakers at least starting the process of establishing a licensure system for authorized cannabis firms so that the state could flip the switch given a federal statute change. Governor Holcomb answered, "I don't mind at all." Representative Sue Arrington has stated she's drafting a proposal similar to what Holcomb has mentioned he's willing to consider. She held a community meeting recently to listen to residents about the matter. The Indiana Democratic Party, which has just launched a campaign for statewide cannabis legalization and urged state policymakers to adopt the legislation, applauded Holcomb's backing of the bill.
Last up, as per a latest analysis by researchers with the University of New Mexico centered on 8 years of statistics in Colorado, statewide recreational cannabis legalization generated more employment while having no detrimental effect on the employee performance. Analysts also discovered that in state counties where cannabis dispensaries launched, unemployment was lower than in areas where they didn't. As a result of cannabis retailers operating in a county, total employment grew, notably for manufacturers. The analysis, which was just released in the IZA Journal of Labor Economics, discovered that the launch of a dispensary resulted in a 4.5% gain in jobs, resulting in lower unemployment figures. Yet, the researchers discovered little indication of a rise in income or workforce involvement, prompting them to believe that this emerging occupation was attracting unemployed and self-employed individuals instead of drawing employees from other sectors. Our results suggest that by preventing counties from banning dispensaries, New Mexico's approach to legalizing cannabis will yield more widespread employment benefits than those experienced in Colorado, said study co-author Sarah Stith of the University of New Mexico. In fact, we may have already begun experiencing some of the benefits as producers begin preparing for dispensaries to open in April 2022.
That was today's Buzz. Thanks for listening. For more cannabis news and insights from industry professionals and a place to discuss these stories and others, visit trichomes.com.
And be sure to catch up with all of our other cannabis industry-related podcasts like Hash It Out, Tech and Cannabis, or the International Cannabis Conversation, wherever you get your podcasts. For trichomes.com. I'm RJ Balde.
And I'm Devin Leal. Have a great day.